but that'll be the Morphling using all these regen. So, at the end of the day, the Morphling's not going to get much CS from this lane unless they pull, and he can get a few CS under the tower, which he's about to now. So his early farm is not going to be that great. I think the real goal for Rest is get their levels up in their support and look to just outplay them a little bit later on once they get levels, because right now, Space have the stronger level 1 trio.
Yeah, the trio, and it's even really hard to just kill them because they have a Dazzle. Like, whenever you have a Dazzle in the tri-lane and a Shadow Demon, like, two heroes that are very defensive, but when you put them together, they turn into this, like, offensive and really defensive combo. So they have that sort of versatility there.
Yeah, exactly. Completely agree.
But, Centaur, I'm not sure how he's going to do against this Windrunner. They're both sort of just trading. Windrunner's going to go for it, but actually just get stunned and double-edged and taken out straight away. Went to melee range with the Windrunner and didn't realise that Centaur can just kill you from half health. A little bit of an overstep.
That guy does pure damage.
Yeah, bit of an overstep. Yeah, that was definitely a bit too much there. Obviously, Windrun, you don't dodge magical damage, bud. That'll still kill you. So, I mean, Space Creator now up 1-0, and they're doing fine on this tri-lane. They don't have the highest last hits on the middle, the offlane, but, I mean, offlane is 1 down, and Centaur has a first blood kill, so he's cool with everything that's happened now.
Alright, I'm going to speak a little bit about the draft, I think. They knew that it's DK mid, right, and they see the Wind Ranger, and they already have a really strong aggressive with a Potom. So I'm curious as to why they decided to run the lanes like this. Like, when their final picks, right? They could have picked anything that could do well against DK mid, or they could have run the Centaur mid and gotten something that would do well against Wind Ranger bot. Yet, with these lanes, I probably would have done something a little...
Yeah, I think they could have played greedier on that safe lane if they, because it's obviously a defensive tri-lane when you've got a Morphling. No one really runs that aggressively, so you could put a range carry down here against the Windrunner. I mean, obviously it's going fine for the Centaur because Windrunner overextended and he got a kill, but they could have definitely played it greedier, as he said.
I think Centaur actually can do fine here. He's very tanky. Obviously, he's doing well for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, but as you said, they definitely could have played it greedier. I don't dislike the Wraith King pick, but I don't think they really needed it, because as you said, they had, you know, the Mirana here would just be, I think, better, to be honest, and Wraith King could even just be mid against Dragon Knight. He doesn't have the creep clearing.
I do like the Wraith King and their overall another frontliner, another stunner. It's something that can be tanky, bottom, dazzles, SD can sit behind. So I do like that aspect of it. He's going to be really tough to take.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's working out fine for them, so I don't think they need to change too much, but we'll see when it comes to the mid-game. As we said in the draft, you know, Rest have a lot of lockdown, and their mid-game looks really good, but Space Created also, they don't have a bad mid-lane lineup, other than they don't have as much reliable lockdown as Rest do. And if the AA gets an early 6, that'll definitely hurt Space Created. Because the life's gone, the heal from Dazzle's gone. A lot of the survivability of Space Created just sort of goes away if that A ult hits.
Sand King is just farming jungle like you mentioned he would. I think this is pretty good. They know that like, it's a risk to try and take on Space's tri-lane, straight up. So they're going to just try to win the level wars. So they'll level up on Sand King more efficiently than the Dazzle and the SD can level up at top. And they'll look to try and win it back for Morphling and get him some space later on. Because right now, obviously, Wraith King is going to have way more CS, way more farm than Morph. He can catch up later.
Yeah, he is absolutely destroying this Morphling in CS. 26 creep kills against 11, so over double, but I mean, that's what you expect, and Sand King does get looked at the rune, but they don't go for it. SD does pick up the invis. He wants to go for mid, but I mean, they've seen them, so But DK's just got to play safely until they see Mum Spaghetti back on the map. But they could go for something else while this is happening. He just has to find someone, and everyone's going to be playing defensively now that they know that this is happening.
Yeah, the Shadow Demon doesn't even need to do anything. All he just needs to be is missing. They know he's got an invis, so they're going to play super defensive and lose out in a bit of CS in mid and top.
Yeah.
So that invis is quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a kill from it. Well, you shouldn't get a kill, but as you said, no one's really getting anything while he's invisible. Morphling's playing quite forward, though.
Yeah, he's actually very far up. I think Dazzle may have been around. I think the supports are actually from space, for Radiant side, they're giving the Morphling a bit of too much space. Because they're not getting enough done elsewhere now. If they're doing good shit elsewhere, that's fine. But I don't feel like they're
is missing.
posing their impact elsewhere, and the Morphling is now catching up in CS.
Yeah, well, he had nothing, and now he's definitely catching up. But I think, yeah, as you said, they're not doing anything. Shadow Demon's gone to bottom. If they catch the Windrunner, fine. They can use Centaur ult, they can get in, they can disrupt, they can kill. But there's been, since he's got that invis, the Morphling's just been hitting creeps and been fine. DK had to play super defensively, but he doesn't really care that much. And they're going to go on bottom, the disruption's going to come off with the extra damage, the stomp just has to hit with the double edge, and he's going to go down here. Even the ult being used to do that little bit of extra damage, so she couldn't get the Windrunner away.
That was a very good rotation. Now that makes it worth letting the Morphling get a bit of... Actually, yeah, that's fine. That's pretty good. Windrange are really far behind now. To this Centaur, he's almost got blink. That's huge.
Yeah, that is going to be a massive impact into the game because, as we said, they don't have the best long range initiation because the Sand King going to be getting that blink as well. But he's got blink now, so if he can hide it and not let anyone see it and then just get a kill from it, it's just going to almost feel like they're just going to steamroll and just start completely killing everyone. And Wraith King is even going back for the Midas after the brown boots are slain. Not the fastest Midas, because it was an aggressive tri-lane, but I don't have any issues with it. I think if they wanted to fight mid-game, he wouldn't get it. He'd get something either straight, I
think Midas is acceptable. If they were going for just hardcore, committing the supports to top, then yeah, get some early game items and just keep on him. But since they're breaking away on him, Wraith King may as well get a Midas. Morphling is already up, so he's catching. Sand King doing really well for himself, actually. Pretty close to that blink. He's going to go straight blink.
Yeah, screw boots. They're overrated, and he has gone the 3 in Sandstorm, 2 in Burrow Strike. So he's trying to get it even faster, rather than going for
the dreaded mud golems though.
Oh well, man, that sucks. I don't know who it's worth with, a Sand King or a Batrider. Like, whose is it just more depressing for?
I think it's more depressing for a Sand King.
It's just so hard on that hero. I mean, it was double stack, so he killed the satyrs there. It wasn't like a complete loss. But yeah, he's gonna have his Blink Dagger in 300, where the Centaur was waiting in the trees down bottom with his blink that no one's seen yet. So he might be able to catch someone top, but look how defensively these two are playing. AA knows he will instantly die if something bad happens here. Even Morphling, if he doesn't get the strength morph off fast enough, with 2 stuns and the double edge, that's a quick kill. So they just have to find the jump on one of these heroes, but they're playing perfectly for where the Centaur is standing.
I like this a lot. The Centaur has come top straight away once he's got his blink and his huge levels. So he's imposing his early game power now and letting the supports catch a little bit with levels bottom. SD will get his... I would have preferred Dazzle to catch up on levels rather than the SD.
Yeah.
Looks like, yeah, he's making a move now.
Yeah, they spotted him out with the ice vortex. They knew he was there, yeah. So he's just got to back off. And I mean, the SD could just be wanting the level 6 for the Purge. I think Purge is going to help them more than the Weave to start with, but so I guess they just wanted that to happen, and he's got that now. So I think he needs to start moving around and trying to get Purges off. But Rest, everyone on the map for Rest is playing super defensively now. They don't want bad things to happen. Even Salt has been pushed out of the jungle.
Rightly so. Sure, they're losing out in CS everywhere, but I don't think that necessarily like they have to. They have to.
Yeah.
Space, when I look at their lineup, I see a bit of an issue with them for when they want to push down towers. Especially given Rest's wave clear. They got the Ancient Apparition's ult, and they've got the Power Shot, and the fire, Breath Fire from the Dragonite. So they've got enough stuff to deal with Space's push. Space can't clear the buildings that fast, so I think they really do need to get shit done now if they want to really, grab this game by the balls, because if Morphling can eventually get his items up, I fear for Space. Rest's lineup can do some work in the mid and late game.
Yeah, I mean, Space don't have a bad mid and late game, but when you throw a Morphling to an AA ult there, that just seems a lot scarier. And I think they're just going to dive this tower. They say, screw waiting, Centaur's coming out, and AA's just going to get caught here. He doesn't even have a chance. The Stomp actually does miss. Centaur ult coming out now. AA in the trees is going to be taken down by a double-edged Morphling, taking a lot of damage here. Does have the strength, Mortharf. DK does TP in though. Mum Spaghetti on that Shadow Demon does get Shallow Grave though, so he's not going to go down either. Salt is going to go down on the back line, and they do catch the Morphling. Can DK do anything? He doesn't have any mana, and Windrunner's going to go in here. The Wraith King does have enough for a stun, but won't be able to use his ult if he does cast it. Flame Breathe Fire does come through. Space Jam just wants to get in there and land another stun, but I don't think he can. Wraith King does find Windrunner in the trees. Pops his ult, going to have full mana now. The arrow hits as well, and they're going to take down that Wind Ranger in the trees. And AA's already respawned and is coming back. The A ult isn't going to hit on Space Jam. It moves just too slowly, and he gets out, blinks into the river, is going to TP away. Wraith King is going to go down on the back end of this fight as well, trying to get out.
Oh, that was messy. I almost thought it was going to fall all apart for Space once they missed that initiation. The Centaur got a little greedy. He wanted both of the mini stun and got none of them. And then the response from Rest looked promising, but then there was just too much shit coming from Space. They ended up winning that big time, but Tower stands.
Yeah.
So Tower stands. They probably want to get some towers. It
wasn't all bad for Rest there. They did manage to get a couple of counter kills, but yeah, as you said, that Centaur got a little bit too greedy, and they're pretty far apart. It didn't really look like they were going to get two in that, but I mean, he went for it. I got nothing against that. He tried, but just but in the end they still won the engagement. But they wanted that tower as well, and I think the DK just being there in dragon form, just not letting his tower die and getting some damage out, getting that kill against the Wraith King too, which was pretty big for them, because going through that whole fight and not dying for Wraith King would have been huge for him. He lost a few hundred gold from dying in Salt here. Needs to quickly activate that blink. He does go in for his Sentry, goes down, stuns away, and blinks into the trees behind him. Can't get out of that though. AA ult is going to clip on Dazzle and the Shadow Demon, but this is just where they disengage, and
nicely done.
Yeah, nice dodging skills there by Tondas, not getting caught by anything.
Stampede used, and they lose nothing, and Space were committing 3 heroes up there. The longer Rest hold on without losing too many lives and losing towers, the better it is for them. I think that's got to be their game plan
Radiant's bottom tower
for the time being, and that obviously goes to their favour.
Yeah, and Morphling not even going for the normal Lincoln's build, actually going for a Yasha first. So most likely a Manta first. So it's not going to be that sort of E-Blade build. It's going to be more of the right-click, try and kill everyone build. And even a
build I disagree with. I'm questioning this one. Because you want survivability, so a Lincoln's I could accept, but I would even go as far as calling for a Midas, given that Rest's lineup looks like they're built to just try and hold out for Morph, and Morph needs to get massive. I would have suggested a Midas.
Though. A Shackle does land, but DK's going to go down here. Windrunner landing a really nice double Shackle. AA ult is going to hit Dazzle. He does manage to get out of it, using a salve as well. He's going to be full health, and this is finally going to be a tower for Space created in the mid lane at the 15-minute mark. But they lost that fight really hard on Rest, even though that a two-man Shackle came out. They just couldn't fight them. They're just too tanky. The Centaur and the Wraith King aren't going to die. They don't have anywhere near enough damage to throw at them at this point.
I think Space's lineup is just way too strong right now. How did that fight start? Sorry, I was missing the beginning of it.
Sand King stunned in. and then
Dire
Sandstorm, but
structures
then
are fortified.
and the Shackle landed,
Dire's
but
middle
they just
tower
couldn't do
is
any
under
damage.
attack.
And then DK just
So
got stunned.
Rest actually started
Yeah,
it.
it looked like they did. I got there a little bit late. Another